What if I told you the most iconic gowns in Hollywood weren't just worn, they were weapons? From Audrey Hepburn's ballroom sparkle to Marlene Dietrich's painted-on gold, these weren't costumes, they were statements. Ready to see how? Let's start with the dress that redefined elegance. 1. Leslie Caron's transformational white satin gown in Gigi, 1958. What makes a dress unforgettable? Sometimes it isn't just the fabric or the silhouette. It's the moment a woman steps into her power while wearing it. And in Gigi, 1958, that moment belongs to Leslie Caron. Wrapped in a gown so luminous, so controlled, and so purposeful that it became one of Hollywood's most defining coming-of-age costumes. Costume designer Cecil Beaton, known for his genius in blending elegance with storytelling, spent months shaping Gigi's visual journey from a bright, impulsive Parisian girl to a sophisticated young woman ready to step into society. His climax? A floor-length ivory satin gown, sculpted with soft draping that glides rather than clings. The gown's brilliance lies in its restraint. It's minimal, but never simple. The satin catches light like still water, smooth, reflective, almost ethereal. The neckline dips just enough to feel adult, but never provocative. And then, the boldest detail of all, black feathered accents on each shoulder, a deliberate shock against the purity of the white satin. Beaton wasn't just designing a pretty dress. He was designing a transformation. The black feathers symbolize her step into the world of Parisian society, elegance touched with danger, womanhood touched with control. When Leslie Caron walks down the staircase in that final scene, she isn't the excitable young girl we met earlier. She's composed, polished, and quietly breathtaking. Fashion historians still point to this moment as one of Hollywood's most successful visual character transitions. Not through dialogue, not through plot twists, just through a gown. The dress has lived on in museum exhibits, retrospectives, and costume archives, praised for how beautifully it photographs and how intentionally it was designed. It's the kind of gown that doesn't overpower the woman, it reveals her. And for Leslie Caron, it became the defining image of her career. This isn't just a dress. It's the instant Gigi becomes a woman. 2. Audrey Hepburn's Fairy Lady ball gown, a modern 1960s dream disguised as Edwardian glamour. If there's one dress that instantly turns Audrey Hepburn into a real-life fairy tale figure, it's the shimmering white gown she wears during the embassy ball in My Fair Lady. At first glance, it feels like a gorgeous recreation of 1910s high society style, but when we look closer, we discover that this gown is actually a perfect example of Hollywood doing what Hollywood does best, blending historical inspiration with modern fashion magic. Unlike true Edwardian evening gowns from the 1910s, those curvy, structured silhouettes shaped over long corsets, Audrey's dress is surprisingly sleek. The gown falls in a very narrow, almost column-like shape. Instead of the fitted waists and rounded, full bust lines of the era, this dress features a classic 1960s sheath base, topped with a loose, sparkling beaded overlay. It's delicate, ethereal, and undeniably glamorous, but it's not historically authentic, and that's exactly why it works. For a modern audience watching in the 1960s, this silhouette felt luxurious, fashionable, and fresh. Costume designer Cecil Beaton wasn't trying to recreate the 1910s stitch for stitch. He wanted to capture the fantasy of transformation. Eliza Doolittle isn't just becoming a lady of society. She's becoming the best possible version of herself. And this modernized gown allowed Audrey to shine with a softness and glow that a strict, period-accurate corseted outfit could never deliver. From the dazzling beadwork to the floating layers of tulle, every detail whispers elegance. It's the kind of gown that doesn't just reflect light, it creates its own. And in this moment, Audrey isn't just Eliza. She's cinematic perfection. Grace Kelly's icy blue evening gown, Hollywood's perfect ice princess moment. When we talk about elegance on screen, few moments feel as timeless as Grace Kelly stepping into the French Riviera night wearing that breathtaking icy blue evening gown in To Catch a Thief. It's the scene where Frances, accompanied by her mother, meets John Roby for the very first time. And from the moment she appears, Hitchcock makes one thing very clear: this woman is meant to look untouchable. Designed by the legendary Edith Head, the gown is a masterclass in controlled glamour. The color is the first thing that hits you, a soft, frosted blue that looks almost cold to the touch. It's the exact shade that makes Grace Kelly's porcelain skin glow under the lights and gives her an almost sculptural presence. Hitchcock asked Edith Head to present Grace as an ice princess, and she delivered a vision so perfect that the nickname has followed this dress for decades. The gown itself is deceptively simple. Delicate spaghetti straps, a clean, graceful bodice, and a flowing skirt that moves like chilled water. But the magic is in the styling, the matching chiffon shawl draped over just one shoulder. This single detail makes the entire look feel intentional, almost regal. It adds mystery, softness, and just enough drama to elevate the entire silhouette. Throughout the dinner scene, Frances acts completely distant, aloof, and emotionally sealed off, exactly as Hitchcock wanted. She observes Roby carefully, barely revealing a single thought. It's only when she unexpectedly leans in to kiss him goodnight that we finally see a crack in that icy exterior. And that contrast is what makes the dress unforgettable. Its elegance hiding desire, coldness masking curiosity, a princess choosing in one small moment to melt. What Edith Head created here isn't just a gown. It's a character in itself. It defines Frances before she even speaks, and it turns Grace Kelly into the ultimate symbol of poised, controlled, impossible beauty. And honestly, isn't this color and style simply stunning on her? 4. Marlene Dietrich's Golden Illusion, the costume Hollywood tried to hide. If there's one costume in early Hollywood that feels almost mythical, it's Marlene Dietrich's gold ensemble from her exotic dance scene in Kismet. Even today, it looks daring. But in 1930s Hollywood, under the strict eyes of the Hays Code, it was explosive. Dietrich played Jamila, the Grand Vizier's wife, and for her seductive dance sequence, the studio needed something that felt dangerous, but still technically acceptable. And that challenge landed in the hands of the Paramount costume department, who created one of the most breathtaking illusions ever put on screen. The foundation of the costume was a flesh-colored body stocking made of soufflé, a delicate, whisper-thin chiffon that clung to the body while staying nearly invisible under the lights. Over this sheer base, they layered gilt embroidery, shimmering bangles, and metallic applique so intricate it looked like jewelry woven into fabric. The goal was simple: give the audience the fantasy of bare skin without actually showing it. And the effect was mesmerizing. But the most shocking detail wasn't the costume at all. It was Marlene Dietrich herself. The production originally tried using gold mesh tights to complete the illusion, but they were too stiff and ruined the fluidity of her movement, so the studio made a radical decision. Dietrich's legs would be painted, not lightly dusted, fully coated. 4 layers of gold paint were applied by hand, creating a glimmering surface that shimmered with every step she took. Her hair was dusted with powdered gold too, giving her a surreal, almost otherworldly glow. When she stepped onto the set, she didn't look like a woman in a costume. She looked like a sculpture brought to life, dangerous, hypnotic, and impossible to forget. And Hollywood wasn't ready. The scene was considered so erotic for its time that early television broadcasts cut it entirely. Even decades later, critics still talk about how this moment pushed right up against the limits of film censorship and reshaped the way costumes could express sensuality without breaking the rules. 5. Carole Lombard's liquid gold elegance. Travis Banton's masterpiece for My Man Godfrey, 1936. For our next iconic look, we're stepping into one of the most glamorous comedies of the 1930s, My Man Godfrey. And at the center of its sparkling world is Carole Lombard, wearing one of Travis Banton's most breathtaking creations, a completely bugle-beaded evening ensemble that still looks like liquid light. Travis Banton, Paramount's legendary head designer, was known for giving actresses a glow that the camera couldn't resist. But with this dress, he created something beyond glamour. He created movement, shimmer, and personality stitched into fabric. The gown is covered entirely in hand-sewn bugle beads, arranged so densely that the dress catches every bit of light, turning Carole Lombard into a walking chandelier. The silhouette is pure mid-1930s Hollywood elegance, a gently fitted bodice, a cinched waist that defines her figure without restricting her, and a long flowing skirt that ripples beautifully when she moves. But the real magic comes from the matching cape, a dramatic, draped piece that slips over the shoulders and fastens with a statement sapphire blue clasp at the neck. It's bold, regal, and unmistakably Banton. In the film, Carole Lombard plays Irene Bullock, a spoiled socialite with a chaotic charm, and this gown fits her character perfectly. It's luxurious, excessive, and unapologetically glamorous. Exactly the kind of look you'd expect from a woman who treats elegance as a personality trait. What makes this ensemble so remarkable is the craftsmanship. Bugle beading in the 1930s was an incredibly labor-intensive technique. Each tiny, cylindrical bead had to be stitched by hand, row by row. There are thousands, possibly tens of thousands, of beads on this dress, giving it weight, shine, and that signature liquid metal effect that cameras absolutely adored. Under studio lighting, the gown didn't just sparkle, it glowed. It almost looked like it was lit from within, wrapping Carole Lombard in a halo of gold every time she walked across the set. And that's exactly what Banton wanted.